Hello and welcome. I'm Chelsea Powers, current chair of the Brentwood-Darlington Neighborhood Association. Today we're talking with Malcolm and Mirabai, founders and co-directors of Black Futures Farm. Welcome, Malcolm and Mirabai. Please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about the farm and what you do there.
Hi, I'm Mirabai, pronouns she, her. I co-create and sort of co-run the farm, like just help make things go and grow, I would say.
I'm Malcolm. I'm the co-founder and co-director, Mr. Mirabai, and I try to confound and frustrate Mirabai every day.
The artist formerly known as Mr. Mirabai.
Yeah.
So how did you get started? What led you to start Black Futures Farm?
You. We were kind of members of this itinerant Black farming community, and we ended up getting access to space and then losing it and then getting it and losing it. And we really needed a place to land and be together and grow together. And Malcolm works at Impact Northwest and managed to make friends with people on the site. And it kind of blossomed around that. Initially, it was a smaller Impact Northwest related plot. And then we moved into the back and became Black Futures.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Excellent. And for neighbors who don't know, Impact Northwest runs our very own Brentwood-Darlington Community Center, as well as many of the Schools Uniting Neighborhood or SUN programs at our schools. Neighbors really wanted to know about the people at Black Futures Farm. So some of us in the Neighborhood Association, of course, know you, Malcolm and Mirabai, but tell us about the other magicians behind the curtain making Black Futures Farm the amazing thing it is.
Sure. Well, there's Eddie Smith, or let's call him Eddie Smith.
Eddie Hill and Charles Smith.
Horrible. Eddie Hill and Charles Smith, who are the directors of the Black Food Sovereignty, co-directors of the Black Food Sovereignty Coalition, which is our parent organization. And they're both there a lot. There's also, we have a sister farm out at Howell Territorial Park that Eddie administers. And then we have Kwele, family Kwele, which is a family, he's from Tanzania, she's from the US. They have a couple kids and they're out there pretty regularly. We just brought on 3 interns, basically. Luke, C, and Michaela. And otherwise, it's a really kind of cool cast of characters that comes out. There's about, I'd say 15 other people that come out pretty regularly, all Black, to farm and grow and learn with us.
On Sunday.
On Sundays, Black
Sundays.
Sundays.
We have a lot of volunteers.
And then we have something like 65 volunteers on our volunteer roster who are not all Black, who come out to volunteer regularly.
Yeah, I would say probably the most regular we have about 7 or 8 that have become like part of the farm pretty much, like come every week and help out from our roster.
Stephanie and Mary and Emily, Ravina.
Mm-hmm. What are you forgetting?
Somebody.
Yeah, you said Mary. Yeah, cool people.
Yeah, the best people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you say come to the farm, tell folks a little bit about where the farm is located in Brentwood-Darlington and kind of the space you are now transforming.
Yep. Okay, so we are at the former beginning urban farmer apprenticeship site. It had been BUFA, which was run by OSU up until about 6 years ago. And so if you're at the Learning Gardens lab and you walk all the way to the back under the cell phone tower, we are in the shadow of the cell phone tower on the other side of the gate from the Family Gardeners, between the PSU plot and the Family Gardeners, adjacent to the PPS parking lot.
And for neighbors who don't know where Learning Gardens Lab is, it's on Southeast 60th Avenue across from Brentwood Park.
Yep.
And you might know it for the Harvest Festival, the Earth Day Festival, and the Neighborhood Cleanup when we were allowed to host events. You mentioned the Black Food Sovereignty Coalition. Tell us a little bit about that organization.
Okay. Black Food Sovereignty Coalition. You're kind of better at that. Yeah.
The Black Food Sovereignty Coalition is a 3-year-old organization that was put together by a group of growers and producers who decided that Black people needed to take control over their entire food system. So we seek to decolonize the food system and to involve Black people in every aspect of food production, distribution, marketing, consumption. Mostly we're just a consumption. I mean, we eat food. Everybody eats food.
Yeah.
And so
we want to have a role in some agency around what we eat, where it comes from.
Yeah.
And who grows it. And yeah. And then also I will add to that Black Food Sovereignty Coalition was Black Food Sovereignty Council. Right. Which started maybe 10 years ago. It's been a while. Yeah. 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 And that was more of a regional Pacific Northwest and involved some people from Washington. Yeah. And Seattle, Tacoma. And was, yeah. And then it kind of evolved and sort of changed to Black Food Sovereignty Coalition. Yeah. And we put on 2 conferences, the Back to the Root Conference at OSU. The first time was in Corvallis on the OSU campus. And then last year we had it here at the Eco Trust building downtown at 7th and Salmon. Or not downtown, but on this side of the river from 7th and Salmon, yeah.
Speaking about changes, how has the farm changed since you very first took over the plot and to what it is now?
More rats.
Yeah. No. More weeds, more rats, less grass. Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah, so when we got it, it was like, yeah, it was just a bunch of
It was a lawn.
It was a lawn, yeah. Hadn't been really, the land was resting, so there's a lot of stuff growing there. The high tunnel didn't have any plastic on it, and it just hadn't been worked in a really long time. So we, had the honor of growing on it and stewarding it. It's our first season, so things are still changing a lot. Next week, we will have a big compost bin there, which is great. The rats will hate it, but we love it.
And it's volunteer made.
Yeah, Sustainable Northwest is donating the lumber, and Portland Edible Gardens is going to come and design it and build it for us. Yeah, we got a grant from the NRCS, the National Resource Conservation Service, which is the program, I believe, of the USDA. So we got a grant to build a couple high tunnels, which are greenhouses, but you plant directly into the ground. They're plastic covered structures. And we're gonna plant some native trees and hedgerows there also. So the process of transformation is ongoing. It's a bunch of things that are gonna happen. Long term, we are gonna create an off-grid kind of demonstration farm, an urban demonstration farm. So folks will be able to come out and learn how to plug solar in and do rainwater reclamation, and build effective compost bins, and so that they can really be more self-sufficient.
Sign me up for that. I'll definitely take those classes. That leads nicely into a question that another neighbor had. Curious about what your growing seasons look like and kind of what you're looking at for next year, markets, CSAs, things like that.
I'm also curious about that.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
Who knows? Well, we decided the other day we're not doing a winter CSA. So the winter is mostly, we're going to focus on infrastructure and trying to raise funds.
And soil building. And build the community, which is what Black Futures is all about. It bears saying that we are a community development experience. It's a working farm, but we're not there for profit. We're not there to make money. We're there to build community. So the business part and any of that is
tertiary.
Secondary. Yeah. And if it's in place, our intention is for it to be educational for community members, like how to do a CSA or, what to plant and crop rotation and how many is manageable for you. Yeah. So we'd like what's next for that is our CSA is going to be kind of a learning module for an intern. And so that's going to be a manageable size, like something that's not going to overwhelm.
Not the 41 people that we had to cut down to 17. We had a huge unmanageable CSA that completely overwhelmed us.
And markets are going to be the same. It's going to be someone who wants to learn to do markets and work alongside us and
Quelle.
front to back, alongside Quelle.
Yeah.
So beginning to end. So that's the plan. That's what's shaping what happens on the farm next. So we want to have those components still and do CSA and markets, but make sure that so that someone can learn from it.
Yeah. And we'll start sometime in May.
Yeah.
Back to market, and if our CSA, not any sooner than that. And we'll probably have a shorter season. We have one more CSA distribution that is going to happen next week.
And what market do you go to?
Presently, we're at the Come Through Market, which is held at the Red. And over winter, it's going to be once a month. And then we're at this other market at 50th and not Division, at the Breathe building. It's one block west of
Over from Division.
Yeah, 1 block over from Division. Wait.
I don't know what that is.
West is that way.
Colors?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And we did a couple other
The Breathe
pop-ups.
building.
Some that were I think only happened once or twice, and all were learning experiences, but just whoever contacted us and wanted to do a market, that's what we did. So it's kind of not entirely spontaneous, but also, we're open and willing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Neighbors want to know, what are your big challenges right now?
Theft. People keep breaking into the site and stealing stuff.
Yeah, that's a challenge. I think also organization. I think for us, we don't have an office or a space to gather or any covered structure that's comfortable or welcoming.
And why don't we have that greenhouse that we used to have?
Huh. Oh yeah, Greenhouse 3, you can get into that. So
yeah.
I feel like that's probably one of the biggest challenges, is not having a place to just have things set up and have some organization. Like normally on a farm that's working, especially if there's a CSA and it's production oriented, you have a place you can go and you put your boots and the calendar is on the thing and it says the task for the day and everything's kind of lined out and there's a place for paperwork, and none of that. It's just like total. We have a couple of old tables under some trees and I think a few chairs left.
Yep.
So that's been a challenge, I think, to stay organized and stay kind of on top of things under those circumstances. The next challenge to me is the greenhouse is not fully functional, and we're going to need to seeding starts, I would say mid-January, February probably. So that to me is a challenge that's kind of hanging on the horizon. Other than that, yeah, just little things. We have drip irrigation. We got that in pretty late, so we were hand watering until July, maybe mid-July. So yeah, so it was really intense and took a lot of work and
5 hours a day,
a lot of time and fighting. But we got through that, and I feel like a challenge is to find a more efficient, ecologically sound irrigation system that's not. I don't know, figuring out the water situation, I think is going to be something that's worth doing and that we're going to need some help with. Yeah. What do you say? Any other challenges? No.
Well, speaking of help, how can neighbors get involved? How can they support? How can they help? How could they help with giving you a new landing space there on the property? Tell neighbors what it is Black Futures Farm needs.
What do we need? Yay, neighbors. I would actually like to have a time to meet the neighbors and have like a neighbors day or something.
Yeah,
that would be cool, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then
like an open house in our not house.
Yeah, because I feel like if we knew the neighbors more, and I would be nice to be more integrated, because that's also part of our goal, is to be a part of like a community resource for Brentwood-Darlington. So, but what does Black Futures need? I'll let Malcolm do that. I just talked a lot.
I think that's accurate.
They make tea.
Although I disagree, it's already making.
Oh.
Yeah. Although I disagree with Mirabai that we need a new irrigation system. What we need to do is make sure that all the places where we laid irrigation is getting adequate pressure to those areas.
I kind of like a soaker. I like the soaker lines better. Not plastic, but I feel like, I don't know if they exist. If not, I'm going to invent them. I like a rubber, like an eco-based rubber that has holes. That's malleable, not hard plastic.
So I use like a fabric soaker hose, and you just like put it around. So that's my lazy watering system, is I have a soaker hose hooked to a splitter to my front hose, because only one of my faucets works, and have it like looped all around my garden bed. So when I turn on the water for my kid to fill his pool, his little wading pool, it waters my garden in the backyard with the soaker hose.
We have a soaker hose. I don't know if they make those for this scale.
For a whole acre of property?
Right, that's our problem. That's the
Okay.
problem.
You can like take off the end and connect them.
So that's what we need, 40,000 soaker hoses. Are you
All right, neighbors, we need soaker hoses.
Are you listening, neighbors?
That's actually what we have, because we have drip irrigation that has whole. Anyway, moving on. We're going to be doing a lot of building projects, and so folks who like to build stuff are more than welcome to come out and help us build. We're going to be doing kind of a barn raising. We are getting kind of like an office-y mini ADU house looking thing that's going to be run by solar. We hope to get permission to put composting toilets on the property so that everybody's not doing their business in the stinky blue box.
Neighbors, come take
I appreciate the stinky blue box going away.
Yeah.
That's a goal. Those composting toilets are complicated and expensive, though, so that's a little ways out. Remember?
Again, I disagree, because they're just sawdust in a box.
Oh, that kind of composting toilet.
Yes.
Okay.
We do this a lot. Disagree. We're gonna fight off camera.
Okay, so I can hear neighbors in my head going, wait, I want to help with the composting toilet, or I want to help build this, or I want to meet.
Yeah,
you.
it's a process.
So how do they get a hold of you? How do they follow Black Futures Farm? How do they know about all the great stuff you're doing? Because like, I know where to find you, but
we have a webpage.
Yeah, should we put it in the chat box?
The webpage.
We can put it in the description for the YouTube that we'll upload this to. But you can also say like, go to blackfutures.farm, or
boom, there you go. Go to blackfutures.farm, or go to Instagram at blackfuturesfarm, or I don't really tweet, but we have a Twitter. It's we do. Okay. At Black Futures Farm. We're also Black Futures Farm on Facebook. So any of those places we can be found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll put all those links in the.
Come over and find us.
Yeah, if you're wandering around.
Yeah.
Fridays and Saturdays are the best right now, most reliable.
Yeah.
And there are days where other volunteers show up, so we can all kind of,
Yeah. If you're interested in volunteering, you should go on our webpage at blackfutures.farm and fill out the volunteer application, and then Mirabai will reply and get you on a schedule. Oh, and if you want to give money, Venmo, Black Futures Farm PDX, and PayPal, Black Futures Farm PDX. Money always helps. Yeah. We always take money. And I was going to say, we use the money mostly to pay our interns and buy supplies.
Yeah.
And if neighbors wanted to make a larger contribution and make sure they get a tax deductible receipt, is there a way for them to do that?
Yes. So there's a donation form on our website. It's the same process basically, and you'll get a letter from our parent organization, Black Food Sovereignty Coalition, and a receipt from No Agenda, who is our fiscal sponsor for the time being. Yep. Tax deductible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else you want to tell neighbors? This is your time to tell them all about the farm and make sure you don't let them miss out on anything that's amazing or a hidden gem there.
I think it's important for neighbors to know that the purpose of Black Futures Farm is, our vision was to help Black people, was to heal the connection between Black people and the land. And it's important to know the history of Oregon and the history of Portland as a place where Black people weren't welcomed. and where our presence was marginalized
and
illegal, right? Because of sundown laws and the exclusion laws. And so it's important for folks to know that. It's important for folks to know that it's a mostly volunteer effort. It's important for folks to know that we really appreciate the community. BD has really showed up for us, and it's a great place to grow. I really love that neighborhood. Mirabai and I are actually looking for a house to buy in that neighborhood. So if you don't want to sell your house on the market, holler. Sell your house to us. Yeah, I mean, we really like it, and we're really open to anybody coming and volunteering and becoming a part of the Black Futures Farm family.
Yeah.
Say that 10 times.
And along those lines, the site, the people on site at the community gardens and over in Master Gardeners,
the best,
so helpful.
The best.
Like when we started, everything that grew came from donations.
Yeah.
Like Master Gardeners dropping off starts and people next door giving us stuff.
Yep. 90% of our seeds were donated in starts. Like
we had no money.
Nothing.
Nothing. So it's a great community.
Yeah, we really love the community.
Yeah. Portland's been a good,
it's been a good go. Yeah, we look forward to it. Next season is going to be even better. We really look forward to and we're learning. It's also important for people to understand that we're first-year farmers. This is my 3rd year growing, but my 1st year actually farming. And it's been an incredible undertaking. And so, I don't pretend to be some professional anything. We're learning. We're professional learners. And so folks should feel free to come and, ask us if we would welcome some advice, or, come and just kind of check it out and see if they could be helpful, or, and teach us things. And also we're going to have more. We had 2 soil science seminars, and we're going to have more of those, and we'll upload those to YouTube. Because I guess we should start a YouTube channel. Probably. Yeah. Okay.
And then also, if you contact us and send your information, we can put you on when we have more classes.
Yeah.
They're really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be cool.
Any community organizations here in the neighborhood you want to shout out to that neighbors might already be volunteering with and not know that they could be volunteering with you with their organization already?
Just BDNA.
Impact. What else is local? I don't know either.
I'm ashamed to say that we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, until we get our house there.
Yeah.
Well, remember, any neighbor who lives, works, rents property, owns property, or just does something in the neighborhood, like farming, can be a member of BDNA, and we would happily welcome anybody from Black Futures Farm. So if you are interested, or any neighbors watching are interested, we meet virtually the first Thursday of the month from 7 to 9 p.m. And you can find those links, this video, other information, and all of that by going to brentwood-darlington.org.
And we want to shout out Asa, our neighbor down the way.
Asa Gurvich.
Yep, got us through CSA.
And Allie, yes, Asa is awesome. And Asa is an elementary school teacher at Sunnyside.
Yeah.
And he's the best. Also a really good musician. And pizza cook.
Yeah.
And his partner, Allie. Both of them excellent and wonderful human beings.
Very good people.
Yes, we love them.
They are your neighbors.
Yeah, they're your neighbors. They live down the street.
I do not ever lie. I have the best neighbors. My neighbors are fantastic, and I am lucky to live in this neighborhood. So I'm just waiting for the day when you get to move into the neighborhood so that my neighbors get even better.
Woo! Such a sweet thing this time.
All right. Anything else you want to tell our neighbors before we end this?
I don't think so. Just thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Hopefully we can check in again next year maybe and see where the farm's at.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a little video for you.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording. Thanks so much.
Thank you.